This is gonna sound really weird, but
me and my friends had a funeral for a worm.
I love ladybirds and I still love ladybirds.
I've always loved creepy-crawlies and like insects.
and I'm pretty sure I've put a worm in my mouth.
And I was like, oh my god, a bug.
I was in danger. I could have been killed. I used to be that little kid who would play in the garden and not care about anything. Like, I would look at the insects and like bugs and snails and I would like play with it, and like sometimes I would attempt to put it in my mouth and my parents would run to like grab it off me. And I'm pretty sure I've put a worm in my mouth before, which seems so disgusting now, but I actually did that.
In Washington Wildfowl, which is this place where there's all the birds and stuff, they had this like bug hunt thing one year. So it was, you had to find the coolest bug, and I found a bug on a tree and I was like, oh my god, a bug. And my mum was like, it's a leaf. And I was like, no, it's not, it's a bug. So the lady came over and apparently it was some super rare bug that they didn't even know existed in the like forest where the wildfowl is. So I was just like, look at me discovering new species. I won that competition.
We were at lunch and we were on the grass and we found a worm, but it was dead, so we decided to have a funeral for it. And I remember, I think we were digging up like a bit of the grass to put the worm in, and then we surrounded it with leaves for decoration and twigs.
We actually made one of those like insect homes when we were in primary school. We had to go out to the playground and we had to get like twigs and soil and stuff, and then we like made little home for them. But I don't think I ever got any insects living in my home, so obviously didn't do that good of a job.
I can just remember one time when, oh my god, it was the scariest thing. So we were walking back from town and I had a jumper and I collected the conkers and I collected them in my jumper like pouch. And obviously they were old conkers. So we're walking home and we're walking like almost home, and then all these earwigs came out of this thing. So I must have been like 6 or 7, and I literally ripped off my t-shirt and my jumper, screamed, oh my god, I can't, oh, they're so scary.
When I was younger in primary school, me and this boy would go to the back of the playground where there was like a whole wall of plants, and then we go on the leaves and search for little ladybugs. It was just like a really interesting thing to us. Like, I loved it when it crawled all over my hands.
When I was younger, I used to keep snails in these, what are they called, like these boxes. Obviously they didn't have any of the things in them, but I used to keep a snail in here and put in like leaves and like stuff like that, and then the next day I would put them like in the garden.
Our science teacher wanted us to go inside a house and find a spider and bring it to school, and a live spider. So we actually had to catch this spider wherever it was in your house, or like go outside to a garden or a park. But she said you have to, because we're going to look at it under a microscope, and if you don't, it's basically you refuse. Basically that means you refuse to do your homework and you'd get a consequence point and a detention. I still did it, even though I was really scared and probably like shrieking.
I remember when I was in like upper primary school, and we used to have like a load of stick insects that were our class pets. And yeah, we were all a bit creeped out and none of us really wanted to touch them.
When I was in primary school, we had like a Key Stage 1 pet and a Key Stage 2 pet. So the one for Key Stage 2 was 2 giant African land snails, and I can remember like when I left they were still there, like they've lived a really long time.
This wasn't that long ago, this was a couple of years back. I opened my front door and I don't know what happened. I just opened the door and then a spider web attached to my forehead. On that web, and I'm not even exaggerating, there was a spider, and it was like fat. It was a fat spider and it was like this big, crawling across the line. But at the time I didn't know it was on my forehead, so I'm going like this trying to get the thing off, but it wouldn't come off, and it's getting closer and closer and closer, and I'm crying at this point. Like, I'm almost crying and I'm yelling, "Mom, help me, Mom, help me." My mom's like, "No, you gotta deal with that yourself."